Jiu-Jitsu by day, Energized Show by night.
Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Or Kings Competitions. Ross,
are you intoxicated or something?
Introduce the guest, man.
Today we have an absolute legend of the Irish MMA scene. Not only is he the head promoter for your fighting championship, he is also a Cage Warriors fighting veteran. He's the one and only Decky McAleenan. Decky, congratulations on your new child. How are you doing, bud?
Thanks very much, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great. So I am. So the main thing is the child sleeping during the night at this stage. So everything else is a breeze.
That's it. That's the win. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. But Decky, we haven't seen you in the cage in a while. Cage Warriors only announced in the last week that they're coming back to Dublin in April. You fought last year in April. Will we see you this year or the coming year in April?
100%. Whenever the day that was announced, my phone started hopping with the nearly ones booking the same hotel as last year. So it was only announced and I've already got 20 or 30 people heading up the road.
Unbelievable. I think it's going to be an absolute unbelievable show. I think the RDS, I really liked it as a venue last time. What was your thoughts of the RDS as a venue?
Yeah, it was a lot better, the venue that we were in this time than the one, remember the previous one in October? I think it was a better setup, more room, and I did like fighting in the RDS now. Yeah,
it was very much a sort of Irish versus the rest of the world in terms of like dressing room setup and things like that in the RDS. It was I'm sure there was great vibes there. But tell us this: will we see a lightweight or will we see a featherweight for this time?
No, back to featherweight, staying a featherweight. So I am. It's different, near enough. Like it's a completely different mentality fighting a featherweight for me. So it is. You be switched on from the start of fight camp right to the end, whereas lightweight's just that little bit easier. Just it was the move to make it comfortable for me while adjusting to becoming a parent, like at the start, just so I wasn't putting my body through the madness of getting the featherweight. But now everything's under control. I'm feeling good. I think every fight I've had as a professional at featherweight has been a finish. So that's where I'm going to make my home and make a run to lift that title.
Decky, what do you make of the featherweight division at the moment?
It's a wee bit all over the place. So it is just it's hard to make out who's number one, who's number two. There's an obvious number two, but I think he's trying to get to the UFC or whatever. So it's a wee bit up in the air at the minute, but it's looking good for me. So it is, because round the division there's a lot of good fights for me to get me like one or two more good wins and get that belt, if even,
Yeah, because you're currently on a 2-fight winning streak. You last one in April and the previous April. So you're looking for a third win in a row in April. But is there a name you want to take on in the RDS that's going on April 26th?
No, whatever's the highest, most ranked opponent for me to fight in April, that's the one I want. It's we'll go, if this is anything to go by, the last 2 Aprils, we'll go through about 5 or 6 people, maybe more, before someone actually says yes. There's a whole load of like being accepted on my side and then being turned down on other sides and being accepted on my side, turned down and whatever else. So now whoever I'm sure there'll be a long list sent over from Ian, and pretty much all of them will be agreed to on my end, and then it's just which one of them will have a set to accept the fight their end.
Does that happen, Decky, sometimes? Do you get multiple people, as in like at the one time, being like, will you fight any of these 3? Do you get that sometimes?
Yeah, that's usually the way it works. I get a list of maybe if it was only 3, it would be easy. You get a good list, so you do like.
Do you send the back ranked? Do you go this fella first, this fella second, etc., or what way? Or just say yes to all?
Yes to all of them, preferably this one. Or like whichever one has like the most credibility, or the better, whichever one does the most for my career.
Yeah.
So that's the ones I want. Like that's, they say, coming off, like I was coming off 2 losses whenever I fought Adesanya, and I think he was on maybe a 5-fight or 6-fight winning streak. Do you know, like, so that's the sort of fights you want. And he was the only one with a decent record that was willing to take a risk and fight me, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the featherweight division, it's a bit of an obscure one at the moment. Obviously, Harry Hardwick just got a good win there at the what was it, the weekend over Newcastle against Kennedy Lopez. Obviously, he was from Novo União. Obviously, good fighter, but sort of a strange one. He was brought in for a title fight, which I'm not as mad on because I feel like Cage Warriors has a deep enough roster. They should be building people up towards a title shot. And then with that, you also have Luke Riley. I think you were alluding to dying to get to the UFC. He's there, and then you sort of have yourself and a few others who are putting some win streaks together, like the likes of Solomon Simon and Nick Bagley, and a few others. So like it is there for the taking by the looks of things. I think we're waiting for Harry Hardwick and Luke Riley to go to the UFC by the looks of things, and you know, the belt could be up in the air by the end of the year, Decky. Do you believe the belt might be vacant by the end of the year?
Yeah, possibly. It depends what where Harry Hardwick goes. I'm not too sure if he will get straight to the UFC, depending on what way the March card goes in London. That could be an option in for him. But it's looking like it's not just because you've won the Cage Warriors belt and defended it once or twice that you get signed to the UFC. Do you know, like it's a wee bit tougher than that with them now. Like, so maybe whether he does get to the UFC or maybe does he go to the Contender Series or the Contender Series, or will he still have maybe one or two more defenses before he gets on? Like, you know, because George was one of the most ones that I thought he was near enough a cert to get signed, and he didn't. He had to go the Contender route. Like, so it's hard to say a definite yes or no what I think there, but the end of next year, that would be a fight that I'd love if he's still the champion and he's still there, or if not, whoever. Do you know, like, I think with the names that are all listed, none of them have the experience or have fought the level of fighters that I've fought. So that's what I think puts me ahead of the rest of them. Yes, there was a couple of losses along the way, but every one of them were the top tier opponents. Do you know, like, so that it sort of stood me a good stead now going forward, where I haven't had 4 or 5 pro fights fighting someone with a losing record or something like that. So I know all my wins have been earned. So I think that puts me right up there at the top.
Yeah. Ross, quick one for you. Do you know when the Contender Series is actually back?
I actually don't, to be honest.
It could be March.
Is it March, or would it not be the summertime? It's not always summer.
Yeah, well, like it's definitely a bit into
I think they're doing two, if not 3 seasons a year now. They're like flat out doing it. But also, I feel like if Dana wanted one in January, one would just happen in January as well. Like he just be like, right, we're doing one in January, lads, and that's it.
Well, look how much Oban Elliott's career has exploded since doing the Contender Series as well. So, but then George, I thought George was actually headlining the event the week after. I think it was. The week before Oban, and then he was the main event, and then ended up losing that. So, look, it's a gamble. Going in the cage is a gamble. Full stop.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Decky, obviously we sort of looked at the landscape of the Cage Warriors featherweight division, but would you like to see rankings brought into Cage Warriors? You know, even a 1 to 5 type thing, just how, you know, you have a better idea where you stand, or, you know what I mean? Or like, if you're randomly outside the rankings, you knew who number 5, you know what I mean? You knew who you were calling out next.
Yeah, I think that will be good. Now, I know it might be just that bit harder to do because you have people with maybe 5 or 6 wins that have never fought in Cage Warriors that will be pulled in. Do you know, like they are bringing in top tier opponents, so it would get slightly messy. But yes, for the ones that are signed and the ones that are like continuously fighting with them, some sort of rankings will be good. The likes of like during COVID, whenever we were doing the trilogies, there was like unofficial rankings in place, which was good because it left you to see, right, you obviously, I know for me anyway, I want to be always looking above myself, looking for the next toughest thing. So it is good to see where you stand and to pick what's next.
Yeah, but you never really want to fight down if you don't have to. You know what I mean? You always want to fight up.
That's questionable now, the way the way the professional fighters are going.
Yeah, but I know and you know that like the real ones wanna
Yeah.
if you want to be, do you want to be a world champion or not? Like, you know what I mean? That's it. Like, so
That's it.
no, I think it's going to be a great night come April. Obviously, fighting on your, and we'll get to that in a bit. Kieran Brady is up there in the co-main event slot. Obviously, he's a good training partner of yours. He fought on Cage Warriors Dublin as well. Is he someone you'd like to see get on that card as well?
Yeah. Just from talking to Ian and that, it just made more sense for Kieran to have one or two more, and then build up and then get back for the Dublin show. So hopefully then we can get Kieran back on in April, and we keep going forward there with him, and hopefully get a couple more of the boys now that are turning pro or that are turning pro on the card as well with us, even Dara Toman as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, would Dart Home be as good a dancer as Kieran Brady is?
I don't think anyone's as good a dancer as Kieran Brady is.
That celebration is iconic.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, for people tuning in, you make sure you're going to have to check out Decky McAleenan at Cage Warriors Dublin 188 on April 26th. But Decky, you're also promoting this weekend's Your Fighting Championships 13. It's going down this Sunday, the 8th. First of all, like, what's it like building this card, promoting this card, and like just making sure everything runs smoothly for an event?
It's not easy, like, so it's not. There's plenty of work goes into it, but it's one of probably the only shows in the country that hasn't. It's a show for everyone. It's not because we have a massive gym that can just one side of the cage filled, or it's not. It hasn't got any. It's just more. This is like a fighter show. Like for people who want to show up and get a good test. Whether it'll not. There's no easy fights in it. From the first fight to the last fight, it's one thing that's always said about my show is the matchmaking from start to finish. You could chop and change the card any way, and it'll be good from start to finish. That's what I find one of the hardest parts is actually mixing and matching the non-title fights or non-pro fights to see who goes above the other one. Like, you don't want to insult someone putting them down the bottom of the card, but then you have someone else that's it's hard to find where to put people on the card, which isn't a bad complaint, but it's hard to do at the time,
Yeah. Who do you actually discuss that with?
Myself. Everything for your fighting championships is done through me.
Yeah, and you're, if I'm not mistaken, you're the only current active fighter who's also promoting events as well.
Yeah.
In Ireland, sorry, in Ireland.
That's I guessed that bit, but
well, like Declan Kennedy, since he's retired, you're the number one.
Yeah, I'd still say I'd be the number one whenever he was still here. It'd be good to see him back too. So it will back run the show. As an hour show, it was around a long time, like so.
Yeah, I suppose he might be making a return to the ring as well. So
seeing that,
we cannot wait to see that going down in 2024. But this is obviously about your fighting championships. Decky, tell us a bit about the card. How difficult it was setting up this card, and what fights should people definitely look out for this Sunday?
This Sunday, I'd say I'm looking forward now. The very, very first show is ever meant to run that got cancelled due to COVID. Dara Toman was meant to take on Dylan Douglas. If you're going to look at records, it's a fight that doesn't really make sense. But I've been about this a long time. Them two boys fought. I think it was Dara Toman's last amateur fight. The two boys fought to a draw in a cracker of a fight. So it's when this came together, I offered the two of them it, and obviously, as I said, on paper it's a wee bit of a wild one. But if you actually look at styles, the build of the two boys and whatever else, I think that's going to be a good fight. So I think that's going to be a tough fight for either of them, whichever one gets away with the win. Hopefully we can decide now, since they only fought for 9 minutes. Hopefully the 15 minutes can pick a winner of the two of them. Kieran Brady and Jamie McAleenan. Jamie stepped in on Friday whenever Kieran's original opponent pulled out. Should be another good fight. Jordan Scully stepped into to try and become the first two-weight champion on the show. He's fighting Dom Rhodes. That should be a decent fight.
Yeah.
Looking forward now to seeing Aidan O'Boyle and Rory Lavery fight. Be good to see Rory back. Off the top of my head, that's
So-
mostly what.
I'm actually really looking forward to seeing the rematch between Chloe Crozier and Kyle Sullivan as well. We were there for their fight in Akuma, and I think going into the fight, really thought like Kaya seems to be probably pound for pound the best female amateur in the country at the moment. And Chloe was so tough in that fight and so technical, and really made it a super competitive fight. So I'd love to see if there's any adjustments that both can make on either side, and see who comes out on top of that one as well.
Yeah, no, that's another one I completely. As I said, I'm trying to run through. I think it's 19 or 20 fights there, but the two.
That's why we pick ones
players-
you don't pick, Decky.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. No,
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
That's how this show works, man.
That's an hour cracker of a fight.
Yeah.
Kay's now another fight. She's never been on the show before, but I think like just automatically Chloe's earned her stripes on the show, and Kaya then has earned her stripes elsewhere, which is only fair then to let her to put her in at that level to fight for the belt.
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
one other fight I want to give a shout out to is Benny Johnson against Matty O'Rourke. That's another fight for people to definitely tune in and see.
Decky, it's an absolute cracker of a card. It really, really is. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be one of the best. What a way to sort of cap off the year as well. Like, you know what I mean? Amateur MMA was really hot this year, and your fighting championship is one of the elite shows in the country.
Yeah, no, it is. It's hard work. See, putting the shows on in December, because a lot of people want to sort of call it quits and enjoy it. But I know from myself fighting, if I can get a fight like last weekend in November, first weekend in December, it sort of gives you that wee pat in the back to enjoy Christmas that wee bit more, you know. But as I said, it's hard to do because a lot of shows want to just call the quits and like sort of fade off a wee bit. But it does be worth it, and then it gives you that time for me anyway that I can sort of relax coming into Christmas and start to get my stuff together. But the past 2 years we're fighting in April, that I can plan ahead for the new year then, you know.
Yeah. No, but it's great. It's great for the Irish MMA fans, like for the people that tuning in, like tune in every week to our show. Like they love seeing who's coming up, who to watch out for, and more fights, and more long may it continue. Decky, have you got a date for the new year for the next Your Fighting Championships yet?
Yeah, we're going straight away at the start of the year. We're going the 23rd of February, so we are.
That's breaking news, Ross. Breaking news.
So,
Yeah, I love it. And how many shows do you think you'll run next year? 3 or 4, Decky?
Go for the 12.
probably 4. Probably 4. Just with knowing what way I stand with Cage Warriors, it's handy because I'll probably go then. Well, I am going in February, obviously. There's been a bit more communication between the shows up north. There's been shows coming left, right, and centre, and constantly clashing dates. Like this show was actually meant to be last weekend, but then Chaos announced their date. I think they've clashed with me twice this year. But I said, "Frigate, it's as easy for me just to move." But the Canal Court had a free date in December, so I said rather than running the morning after their show, I'll just move it back 2 weeks, like until. So everyone can sort of get a fair crack, and if there's pullouts on Chaos, then I'd be able to try and get fighters fights then, because it's not without the fighters you don't have a show. So if you can spread them out a little bit, it gives them options that if them last minute pullouts happen, that you can maybe have a wee bit of time to sort of play with to try and get them the replacement match rather than it being the next day and being useless for them, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard about this. I think it's a WhatsApp group between the shows up north, and I think it's great because me and Barry would be the very first people to give out if 2 shows are on the same day. We just think it's
3.
Or 3. Yeah, it's not best for business for the shows, and it's not best for business for the fighters, and it's not best business for like us covering it. But like we're obviously the least important. But like
the fans.
The fans, you know what I mean? Because some people love it, and then also like it sort of makes James pick a show to put all their fighters on because it's hard to go to 2 shows in the one day.
Then you get the pettiness as well of, well, sure, you fought in that show last and you didn't support us, so you didn't support this, and so like it's just better. As you said, it's better for business for everyone. The fighters have more options. The coaches have more options. They're like there's nothing put to their head with right, pick one. Which ones are going to be? Like everything can just run smoothly, and that's with a week or two. With a week or two in the difference, it means then pullouts for like silly wee injuries or Joe knocks or niggles can then like, oh, can we put it back 2 weeks on your show, or can we move it forward 2 weeks to this? Do you know, like it makes it better for everyone. You know, like whereas we're not the big shows, we're not the, you know, like we're not the top tier thing. So they're all amateur shows. Yes, there's a couple of professional fights at the end, but if they don't work together, the whole scene can sort of go south. Do you know, like, and then it'll just it's not good for anyone. Like, you know.
Amen to that.
Absolutely. And like, and look, there's what 52 weekends in a year. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of yeah.
You're going for 12, Decky. You're going for 12 next year.
Like, there's an outrageous amount of dates available. So like, there's definitely a lot of shows in Ireland, but there's definitely not too many shows in Ireland that people can't all have a decent date to run a show.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that's it. Even I have said, like, if it's the case of me only running 3, I don't really mind. Do you know, like, but it's more just what is the best thing for the fighters. Do you know, like every show I've run, like I'm only going 3 years now. I've run 4 shows a year, so it's doable for me. But if it makes it that wee bit better and give someone else a crack that's willing to work with me, then I'm happy enough to do it. But if there's things going on where people aren't working together, then it shouldn't be that way, that everyone's out for themselves, but you have to also look after yourself.
Yeah, well, hopefully for the people tuning in that organize these events, look at it in 2025. It's a new year, fresh start. Like, let's get as many shows as we possibly can on different weekends. Because like even if one was on a Saturday and one was on a Sunday, they don't have to be. Doesn't need to be 5 shows in one day, or else we're working overtime, aren't we, Decky?
That's it, boys. That's it.
And Decky, I do want to ask you about this. Good friend of the show, good friend of yourself, Mr. Mark Weir, who is probably one of the most unsung heroes in the Irish MMA community. This man backs you guys, he backs us, he backs a lot of shows. How important is it to have great sponsors like Our Kings competitions on board, and how good is it to be personal friends with them as well?
Yeah, it's crazy. So it is, having someone like Mark, having a mate like Mark, not even a sponsor, someone that's just like genuinely a good lad. And then as Our Kings have grown, the more he has supported me. So having someone like him is, you couldn't ask for anything more. Like, you know, that's it really, it's a massive help for me. Like, having someone that as soon as the show was announced, he backed it as a sponsor. You know, like, as my career has progressed, as Our Kings have progressed, he's backed me more and more as a sponsor. So, like, as you said, even what he's doing for other fighters, other clubs, other shows, there's not too many places now you don't go related to fighting and see the Our Kings logo. So, as you said, he is a massive part of our Irish MMA now.
Yeah, he really is. Like, and like, we're so grateful for that. And like, he's such a funny guy. Like, he is, like, you know what I mean? Like, even and seeing all like the motors he has out all the time. Like, he's I feel like his empire is like, it almost comes across as not his business, because he looks like he just enjoys life so much doing what he does. You know what I mean? It looks like he's never worked a day in his life, and also like, he changed people's lives on like a daily basis, like with those prizes that he gives out.
No, it's crazy. So it is what he's doing, and like, as I said, even he enjoys, like, he loves his training, he loves his cars. He does. I go out to his place to take him for a PT. He bought the cage off us that we used to have in the gym. He bought that for his own personal gym. So if I need any spawn or anything, I can go out there. I've got a cage and all set up out there. It's one of them things that you don't know how lucky you are to have, you know, like, and you can do nothing but thank him for all the support. Like, and it's even, wrong side. There we go. So, had the tracksuit and all on just by chance.
Yeah,
Man, you never take that thing off.
Yeah, you're
Never
always
take
ready.
it off. Always for any time there's a camera about this, tracksuit can make appearance.
You wore that on your wedding day as well. No, shout out to Mark and Our Kings, because without him, like I don't know where we'd be as well. Because especially, like, I mean, the Irish MMA needs people like that, and long may it continue, as you said. Decky, there's also another big event on this Saturday. It's UFC 310. Ian Gary's returning to taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov. What do you make of this fight, and what do you expect the outcome to be?
It's a crazy fight. It's great to see the turnaround again of Irish MMA, seeing like being like talked in the elite level again, you know, like the cream of the crop at the top of the UFC, like seeing two undefeated fighters going to go head to head here. That's what the sport's about. It's brilliant now. Both of them are taking a massive risk in this, and I'd love to see Ian get his hand raised, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge step up from him as well, Decky. Like I know he's ranked maybe 7 in the world, and he's 15 or 16 now, but like compared to Jeff Neal, Daniel Rodriguez, Neil Magny, like Shavkat's a different gravy, isn't he? From what you've seen from Shavkat, like, do you see there's any holes in this game, or what are your thoughts on him as a foe?
He's a dangerous opponent. So he is. You know, like he's good everywhere, but it's gonna be. It's hard. See, when you take these undefeated fighters, and it's hard. They've got like an extra tool in their pocket. Whenever they've got that confidence as well. So it's just going to be interesting to see two boys that aren't used to losing, to see what way the fight turns out like. And it's, if you were a betting man, you'd love to pick it easy for Ian, but it's not going to be an easy one. Like, you know, definitely not. Like, and I wouldn't want to be putting big amounts of money on it. Like, you know.
But if you have to put your Or Kings competition's sponsorship on it, like, what do you think the result would be?
I wouldn't be doing that. I'm not that much of a gambler.
But what I will say is Shavkat, I think, is a like 1 to 2 favor in the bookies at the moment. So that's who the bookies are putting their money behind. But as Baz said before, like, Ian has no problem winning like a sort of a tactical fight, and you know, something a bit on the slower side of things. So it will be definitely interesting to see. And then just in terms of, you know, we saw Jeff Neal be able to put a bit of hands on Shavkat at certain stages of their fight. So, and obviously Ian Gary's much better striker than Jeff Neal is. So it'd be definitely very, very interesting to see. And also, just Shavkat has finished every single opponent he's fought. Ian Gary's been 5-5s before. So it would be interesting to see if that plays into his favor.
Yeah, all these things, like you're talking the like minimal advantages make a massive difference at this stage now. Like, John, that's whenever you see the two elite fighters go head to head, it could be the tiniest of difference makes a massive thing. Like,
and Decky, here's a question for you, being a veteran fighter. Have you ever fought someone who you've sparred with quite a number of times?
No, never.
Just that's sort of the other sort of element in this fight. Like, they've sparred each other quite numerous times, probably for months on end, and obviously being the same weight class, same sort of stature, they probably were always put together in sparring. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure you probably know people who have sparred or been in the same camp and end up fighting each other. Do you think there's a psychological advantage if you are sort of constantly getting the better of someone in training?
Yeah. There's the difference in training too. It depends at what sort of pace are you sparring at. You know, like, are you going at it, or are you like going? You know, sometimes you see the sparring's a wee bit lighter. So it would be interesting to see now. Like, if obviously week in, week out, if someone's getting the better of the other person, you're gonna have time to find holes, like, where if you're going in blind, just watching tape, you might think, oh, my wrestling's better than his, or my striking's better than his, and you get a shock there that you have to change on the spot. So it could have a massive advantage, or like it's hard to know whether it would actually benefit you or will it go against you. So it's one that's really up in the air, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what makes it so intriguing. I think I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, that's the main event this weekend. Like, that's the fight I'm looking forward to seeing most in that card. 5 rounds of those two is absolutely insane. And again, like, a win guarantees you a title shot as well. So, like, that's something that, like, is not to be slept on as well. Bilal Muhammad is waiting in the wings to fight the winner of this.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's another, none of them sparring sessions were for the number one contender spot either. Like, you know, so it makes it a lot more interesting, that fight.
I'd say it was to remain undefeated, though. That's one thing for sure. Decky, as we said, people are going to be tuning in to see you compete on April 26th at Cage Warriors Dublin 188. And also, they're going to be tuning in this Sunday, the 8th Your Fighting Championships 13. It's going down in Newry. You can get your pay-per-view links. Everything is going to be in the bio of Your Fighting Championships Instagram page that we'll be plugging all week. Decky, is there anything else you want to say to the people tuning in now that can't wait to see you get a few selfies with you, a few autographs this Sunday?
I'll be flat out this Sunday cornering as well. I'll have all my hats on so well on Sunday. No, just everyone, thanks again for your support. Even that last show in Dublin, I was raging. I didn't get to celebrate with everyone after it. I was straight to the hospital, and like the messages, the phone calls, the video calls I was getting from everyone on the drink, was sickening. It was sickening as I was sitting in the hospital. But just thanks to everyone for the support, for the support of my own fight career, for the support of the show. Whether it be the sponsors, the people that are coming to watch the fights, whether it be the sponsors for me or the people coming to watch me fight, everything. It's just, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's greatly appreciated.
Nice and Decky. We'll let you get on with the rest of your day, and best of skill this Sunday to everyone involved.
Thank you, lads.
Jiu-Jitsu by day, Energized Show by night.
So Ross, that was Decky.
That was Decky. What a man.
I was gonna come out with a joke. Hold on, quick question. Who do you think Mark from Our King's competition prefers? Decky or us?
Definitely Decky.
Nah, man, come on. He prefers us, man. Come on.
Maybe you.
Me, then Decky, then you. There we go. Ross, as we were discussing with Decky, UFC 310 is going on this weekend. Ian Garry versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is our main event.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's actually an absolute banger of a card. It really, really is. I know like people aren't as mad on the main event, but like if you actually look at like the first like 5 fights of the night on the early prelims all the way up to the main card, like it is an absolute banger of a card.
Yeah, well, it's being headlined by Alexandra Pantoja against Kai Asakura. This is for the flyweight world title. Ross, what do you make of the way the UFC have actually brought in Kai Asakura from Ryzen? Like he's making his UFC debut and it's for the title.
I think it's very, very strange, to be honest. And I think it doesn't actually look good for the brand. Like who might have them what to do, but the fact that this guy is being brought in straight into a title fight is something that we'd actually give out about. So excuse me. Also, in terms of,
and he's never made flyweight.
Yeah, in terms of Asakura as a champion, like this guy hasn't. I think he hasn't made flyweight since he was 8-0. What's he now? Like 22-4.
21-4.
So like that's just a very, very long time that he hasn't been a flyweight, and now he's going to come back into that mold. So I think if I was a betting man and I like to bet against you and not in the bookies, I would bet on Pantoja to get his hand raised in this one.
No, you should go for Kai Asakura, man. Come on. Predictions for Ian Machado Garry against Shavkat Rakhmonov as well. I don't think we gave one with Decky.
The future is now. Ian Machado Garry wins. I'm going to say 49-46 against Rakhmonov.
You see, as we said, like I think 2 weeks ago, the way Ian was meant to fight the week after against Joaquin Buckley, and he's now fighting a week sooner. I think Ian has something up his sleeve because he was meant to be the main event. Now he's given that up to be the co-main event. So, I believe Ian has it in him to win, and I know Ian believes in himself 100%. So I'm going to go with that. Ross, as you were mentioning, there is some serious fights on this card. We'll just go through them quickly. Cyril Gane's taking on Alexander Volkov. Bryce Mitchell's taking on Kron Gracie. Nate Landwehr against Choi Dooho.
That's the Korean Superboy.
Yeah, Dooho Choi. Dominic Reyes against Anthony Smith. Your fight of the night contender. Movzar Evloev against Aljamain Sterling as well. That's a decent one as well.
Yeah, Vicente Luque versus Garimbo. The fella The Rock gave a house to.
They're fighting for the house, Ross.
Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. Like, what a card. Like, Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Like, these are all, like, well-known UFC fighters who are going toe-to-toe. Like, I think, like, I'm going to guess there's maybe 15 fights in this card. I feel like a solid 12 to 13 of them could easily headline a fight night.
It's definitely not a fight night card anyway.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not in the Apex. I'll tell you that.
It's not. It's in Vegas, but it's not in the Apex. But
No,
no,
Team
no,
Arena. Here we go.
yeah. Oh man, it'd be great for Ian to get that win and then fight against Bilal Muhammad for the world title.
Yeah.
Where do you think that would be? Where do you think that would be like best held?
It'd probably end up being like Abu Dhabi or something, I'd say.
Very interesting. That'd be such an amazing year for him and Irish MMA, because we all know Irish MMA needs some good things going on in it as well. Ross, also on Saturday night, there's a huge domestic dust-up in the boxing scene. Dylan Moran is taking on Tyrone McKenna in Waterford. First of all, what do you make of this fight? And are you excited to tune in?
Absolute banger of a fight. Two Irish lads going toe to toe. Two well-known names in the Irish boxing scene. Tyrone McKenna and Dylan Moran. I can't wait to see it. Fair play to Conan Boxing for getting this one over the line. Obviously, Dylan Moran on home field advantage. I feel Tyrone McKenna probably has more big stage experience. I feel like he's fought in the larger shows throughout their career. Obviously, Moran had that big fight against Baku. Marku, sorry. And I think it's going to be an absolute great fight. And I think anyone who's down in the Set2 Arena down in Waterford is going to be a winner.
No, it should be fucking deadly night. Then on Sunday, as we mentioned, your fighting championship is going on. I just want to sort of talk about that. It's great to get Decky on and like what he's actually doing, like while fighting. I know multiple people, like we have Shando who's always putting events on and he has family and stuff as well. But like Decky, the way he's fighting, promoting events, like it's really, really important for the scene, isn't it?
Yeah, but I also think he's done it really well. That like it's a bit like the way Cage Conflict do all their shows in the Devon primarily. I know they've done a few outside of there, but they do all theirs in the Canal Court Hotel, which means like they know the same setup for every show, which is like takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. And you know what I mean, like when they show up to an event, like they know the stream's going to work because they've used the Wi-Fi before. They know they're putting these fighters in that room and this fighters in this room. They know where the ring walk is going to be, etc. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of the thought process out of it because it's the same people setting up the same show over and over again, which means that the fighters can just concentrate on fighting and Decky can concentrate and just making sure everything runs smoothly as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And then also Sunday as well, LFL is going down in Amsterdam. Andreas Binder is fighting for the welterweight title from SBG Charlestown. Georgi Grozov from Houlihan Martial Arts is also fighting on the card. And Jenderson Castro. What team is he from again?
Team Beyond.
Team Beyond is also.
He seems to be doing a lot of work in Charlestown at the moment as well. So maybe he's doing a bit of hybrid camp.
Right, that's what confused me. So those three lads are going to be competing on LFL on the Sunday. I'm pretty sure they'll be on YouTube as well, if I'm not mistaken. But,
LFL run an absolute brilliant show. Binder trying to become champ there. Can't wait to see that. I feel like he will get some more redemption from the year he's had. He'll get to finish the year on a high, and hopefully we'll see him in the PFL Smart Cage in 2025. And then obviously Georgi Grozov looking to continue on that run of pro. He seems to be a real problem there. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be an unbelievably talented show. And shout out to LFL. Great promotion.
Yeah, and then next week, you're going to have to make sure to...
Next week, get it in the dory, Baz.
Everything's already written down, man. Jeez, the end of the year is absolutely stacked. But next week, we'll be discussing Ian Machado Gary's victory in Vegas at UC 310. But also, Colby Covington is taking on Joaquin Buckley as well. Cage Warriors 182 is going down in San Diego. And PFL Leon is going down. SPG Charlestown's own Sheridan and Valentinas Cassisi will be on that card as well. And we can't tell you exactly who's booked for the card for the Energized show yet, because we haven't got anyone booked yet, have we, Ross?
No, we haven't. But we do want to let you know the annual Energized End of the Year Awards will start to go live in the coming weeks.
Next week,
it could be sooner rather than later. Yeah, we don't have a set date for them to start yet, but they will be coming, and we will be giving you guys the opportunity to tell us who are the winners of the year. We'll have categories like Pro Male Fighter of the Year, Pro Female Fighter of the Year, Male Amateur, Female Amateur, Gym of the Year, Coach of the Year. I think we're doing Pro Prospect of the Year, Turn Pro of the Year. So we'll have loads of awards for you guys to tell us who you thought really smashed it out of the park in 2024.
And Podcaster of the Year.
Podcast of the Year, Ross or Barry. You choose, you decide.
No, but for people tuning in now, thanks. Honestly, like it's we love doing this, and as we said, like having sponsors like King Competitions on board is very, very helpful because like we won't get into it, but it is very, very important. But what's most important is for the people tuning in. Thank you so much, as always. If you enjoy the show, send it on to someone else. Make sure to watch our Instagram next week for the Energized Awards because look, it's voted for by the fans. It's not like me and Ross only count as one vote each. This is bigger than the general election, Ross.
It is. Well, you have your voting shoes on there. Get out and vote for the Energized Awards. We can't wait to see it. It's gonna be it's probably gonna be carnage. Normally people give out to us, so we'll see.
The amount of times people give out to us for these awards, man.
People give out to us who wins awards, even though we don't actually vote for them.
Yeah, hold on. We'll tell a story of the awards last time, right? Won't name any names, but Sean O'Bannon won Female Fighter of the Year, and then someone got onto us and was like, "Did you get Sean O'Bannon to win female? Did you give Sean O'Bannon that award because she came on your show?" And we were like, "Hold on."
No, that did happen. First of all,
I didn't explain that properly.
Yeah, no, you did. So someone slid into our DMs. A very well-known fighter slid into our DMs and asked us, did Sean O'Bannon win the award for Female Fighter of the Year because she came on our show? First of all, like, we don't actually pick who wins. We just pick the nominees. And second of all, the person who actually asked us, who was giving out that they didn't win the award, was actually a male. So
yeah, it was a bit. I don't think they looked at the award properly. I think they were just like they thought they were giving out for the year. Yeah, but like that's the stuff we have to deal with here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily,
maybe they're they them or something. Who knows?
Who knows? No names would be named. Maybe if you see Ross on a night out at the lads' Christmas party on the 7th, you can ask him and he might let you know. But Ross, anything else?
No, that's all from us, guys. It is December, so starting that silly season. Merry Christmas to one and to all. If you do want to give me and Barry a Christmas present this year, all you have to do is smash that subscribe button, tell a friend, leave a comment down below, leave a thumbs down just for the crack. And as always, stay energized.
Jiu-Jitsu by day, Energized Show by night.